The trailer for the new season of Dragon Ball Super is finally out, and it's insane because everything we expected is going to happen. The animation is truly much better than the Tournament of Power, something fans have wanted since the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. But calm down because I will show and explain everything to you in today's video. So without further ado, let's go. Since the end of the Tournament of Power, Dragon Ball Super fans have been in constant anticipation for the continuation of the anime. The last time the work was broadcast on Japanese television was in March 2018 with the final battle between Goku and Jiren. Since then, despite new content in the manga, movies, and parallel announcements, the feeling of emptiness in the weekly episode format still persists. Many believe the anime should have returned by now, especially because the franchise has never ceased to be highly popular and financially successful. This long interval has led the fan community to create various theories and speculations about when and how the anime will return. The manga has already advanced considerably, bringing unprecedented arcs like Moro the Planet Eater and Granola the Survivor, in addition to the adaptation of the superhero movie. This generates even more anxiety, as fans know there is a lot of solid material ready to be animated. One of the main reasons for the waiting to be so notable is the intensity that the Tournament of Power brought. It was an arc that brought together practically all universes, featured memorable characters like Jiren, Toppo, and Kefla, in addition to elevating the prominence of Goku and Vegeta to new heights. The climax with Goku's complete Ultra Instinct and the team fight alongside Frieza and Android 17 left fans feeling that the story could only evolve from that point on. Consequently, the silence about the new season creates a sense of lack of continuity. The Dragon Ball universe has always been marked by long sagas, but there has never been such a long pause after such an impactful arc ending. This time amplified expectations, but also fueled the frustration of part of the community, who wanted to see the new animated content as soon as possible. The movie Dragon Ball Super Broly, released in 2018, was a resounding success, reintroducing the legendary Saiyan in an official retelling. Then came Dragon Ball Super Superhero in 2022, which gave more prominence to Gohan and Piccolo. Both movies proved that the franchise remains popular, but they do not replace the experience of following weekly episodes. The absence of a season makes it clear that Toei Animation has been working cautiously on when and how to bring the anime back. The waiting also reflects the importance the anime has for consolidating the characters. Many people only follow Dragon Ball through the anime and have not yet had contact with the recent events of the manga. This creates a division among fans, those who already know what has been happening and those who are still stuck at the end of the Tournament of Power. The return of the anime would be the definitive bridge to unify the experience. Another point that fuels the expectation is the evolution of the characters that fans want to see in motion. Goku with greater mastery of Ultra Instinct, Vegeta with Ultra Ego, Gohan with his beast form, and Orange Piccolo are transformations that emerged after the Tournament of Power and have not yet been animated. The curiosity to see these forms in action with all the intensity of modern animation is immense. There is also the question of how the studio will adapt certain arcs. The Moro arc, for example, is considered one of the most interesting since the Z Saga, bringing a mix of magic energy absorption and large-scale battles. Granola is an arc that explores more of the Saiyan's past, something that always sparks interest. Fans want to see how Toei will transform these pages into dynamic and exciting battles in the anime. Many believe the delay is also linked to commercial strategies. The Dragon Ball anime is not just a work of entertainment, but a global phenomenon that moves toys, games, movies, and events. Thus, the studio and Shueisha may be waiting for the right moment, possibly aligning the anime's return with a larger market strategy. Despite all this waiting, fans remain steadfast. Social media is constantly buzzing with rumors and supposed leaks about the anime's return. Some rumors pointed to 2023, others to 2024, but so far nothing has been officially confirmed. This lack of official information only increases the hype and keeps Dragon Ball always in the spotlight. The most impressive thing is how the anime's flame remains lit even after years. Few franchises manage to maintain such relevance without continuous TV production. This only proves the strength of the Dragon Ball brand and the emotional impact it has on several generations of fans around the world. In the end, the wait for the new Dragon Ball Super season goes beyond just wanting new fights. It represents the desire to relive the experience of following the journey of the characters who marked childhood and continue to inspire today on a weekly basis. For many, the Tournament of Power was not the end, but just a transition milestone for even bigger stories. And while Toei Animation does not officially comment, fans must keep the flame of hope alive, revisiting the old sagas, following the manga, and debating what will come. Because when the new season is finally announced, there will be no doubt that it will be one of the most anticipated returns in anime history. Finally, after years of waiting, the news that all Dragon Ball Super fans have been waiting for may be near. The return of the anime in weekly format, with a new season bringing back all the hype that marked the end of the Tournament of Power. And the most exciting thing is that this return would not only come with new manga content, but would start grandly, adapting the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. This would allow new viewers who have not yet watched the movie to follow the impact of this story within the official anime chronology. The movie adaptation would be a strategic point. Broly has been a beloved character since the 90s, and his official version by Toriyama won over both old and new fans. Seeing the entire fight of Goku and Vegeta against Broly in episodic format, with additional details and perhaps even extra scenes, would be a golden opportunity to further enrich this battle, considered one of the most epic in the franchise. Soon after Broly, the expectation is that the new season will advance to the Moro arc, one of the most acclaimed in the manga. This villain brought back the essence of cosmic danger with his imposing look and unique abilities to absorb life energy. The animation of this arc would have everything to be grandiose, as it involves battles that mix magic, divine abilities, and large-scale confrontations, involving even the Galactic Patrol. Moro is seen by many as one of the best-constructed antagonists since Majin Buu. The Moro Saga would also be an opportunity to explore new sides of Goku and Vegeta. The anime could show, with even more emotion, Goku's advance towards complete Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's training on Yardrat, where he learns different techniques like forced spirit fission. These scenes in the anime would have even greater narrative force, giving the audience a sense of the two warriors' palpable evolution. Following the chronology after Moro would come the adaptation of the Granola, the Survivor Saga. This arc deeply delves into the Saiyans' past and reveals unexpected connections with Frieza. The revelation of Granola's wish and his fight against Goku and Vegeta would bring moments of high dramatic intensity. The audience who only follows the anime would have the chance to discover a denser narrative where there are not only battles but also personal dilemmas, revenge, and redemption. One of the highlights that the adaptation of this arc would bring is the revelation of Vegeta's transformation, Ultra Ego. Many fans eagerly await seeing this form in motion, with all the intensity that only animation can convey. While the manga has already made the power of this technique derived from the Gods of Destruction's energy clear, the anime would have the mission of elevating this to another level, showing Vegeta in one of his most brutal and impactful evolutions. Furthermore, Granola is not just an arc of power, but also of historical revelations. Bardock's past, the connection between the Saiyans and the Heaters, and the emergence of Gas as one of the most powerful villains would place the anime on a narrative level that mixes emotion and action in the right measure. This arc may be one that generates the most discussions in the community when adapted. After Granola, it would be Dragon Ball Superhero's turn to gain its adaptation. Although it has already been a movie, this arc brings extremely anticipated transformations, such as Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo. The anime would have the chance to further expand what was shown in the cinema, inserting unprecedented training moments, prolonged battles, and deepening the relationship between Gohan, Piccolo, and Pan. This would further strengthen the new generation within the story. With these four major arcs, Broly, Moro, Granola, and Superhero, the return of the anime would have enough material to yield several years of weekly episodes. And not only that, this period would mark a new era for Dragon Ball, consolidating transformations and characters that, until now, have only been explored in the manga or movies. Another factor that makes this possible return even more special is the context of the anime market. Everything indicates that the year 2026 may be the moment when the anime returns to be broadcast. And this would not just be a common return, but a historical milestone. This is because for the first time, the so-called modern Big Three would be simultaneously active: Dragon Ball Super, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and One Piece. This reunited triad would mark an unprecedented moment for fans. While One Piece is already going through its final phase with intense arcs like Egghead and Elbaf, Boruto begins to win over the audience again with a more mature and engaging narrative. And the return of Dragon Ball Super would bring back the weight of nostalgia combined with the novelty of the new transformations and sagas. Three giants of the anime industry would be sharing the spotlight week after week. The experience of following these three titles simultaneously would create a unique environment, similar to what existed in the golden age of Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece. The difference is that now the audience is global, and discussions are instantaneous thanks to social media. This would raise the hype to historical levels, with every week bringing debates, theories, and comparisons between the legendary moments of each work. For Dragon Ball fans, this return in 2026 would not just be a common return, but a true rebirth of the anime. After almost a decade since the end of the Tournament of Power, finally seeing Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly in new weekly battles would be a well-deserved reward for the patience of all who kept the flame alive during so many years of waiting. And when this season premieres, there will be no doubt that the whole world will stop to watch, comment on every episode, thrill with every fight, and once again live that unique feeling of having Dragon Ball as part of their daily lives. If the anime really starts with the adaptation of the Broly movie, the premiere episode would have the mission of reconnecting fans to the Dragon Ball Super universe. It would probably start calmly, showing Goku and Vegeta training with Beerus, with Whis observing, something similar to the beginning of the movie. This introduction would be perfect for reminding the audience about the protagonist's current stage, in addition to already setting the tone of the new season, even more intense battles and a plot that directly connects the Tournament of Power to the future. From there, the anime could expand some details that were only mentioned in the movie. An example would be the reconstruction of Frieza's army, exploring how he is reorganizing his forces after being resurrected. This would add even more weight to Broly's arrival, showing how Frieza not only adapted to the new reality, but was already planning ways to manipulate other powerful warriors. This addition to the anime would increase the story's political and strategic depth. Another point that would gain prominence is Broly's own childhood. The movie already presented his relationship with Paragus, but the episodic adaptation would have the opportunity to show even more details about his life on planet Vampa. Extended flashbacks could reveal how Broly survived so many years in a hostile environment, developing his monstrous power. This would make the character even more human and tragic, deepening his figure as an anti-hero within the franchise. And of course, the final episode of this first Broly arc would have everything to become one of the most epic of the entire franchise. The fight between Broly, Goku, and Vegeta in episodic format would have more time to show every detail of the confrontation without sudden cuts, with new dialogues and unprecedented choreographies. It would be the perfect moment to mark the anime's return in style, proving that Dragon Ball Super has returned not only to adapt the manga, but to deliver an even greater experience than fans already knew. But comment on what you thought of all this, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much for everyone's support, and see you next time.